Hello and welcome to another developer preview video for Intellidiscs, my attempted port of the Intellivision classic Tron Deadly Discs to the Atari 5200. This video is mostly just showing off some visual things, some animation stuff. You may notice right away that I now have a horizontal running animation as the enemies are flitting about the arena here. However, while setting up this video, I did manage to notice a slight glitch when the enemies bounce off the wall. Sometimes their animation isn't getting set properly. I'll have to look into that later. But yeah, I got the horizontal animation in, and it looks great. It's fantastic. Here I can run around as the player, and you can see it here. I'm very, very happy with it. One thing I have not done is adjusted the position of the disc to keep it in the player's hands. You can see the player in the center here, my disc is just kind of floating to the left of me. So that's something I need to do a little bit later. And something else I've also added is the crouching animation. And if you watch the enemies, they will occasionally stop and crouch. It's totally random, whenever they decide to do it. The player can also crouch. And the way it works in the Intellivision games, you press the 5 key on the keypad, you'll go into a blocking mode if you have your disc in your hand. And if you press 5 again, you will crouch. See, the guy to the left's crouching there, he just did it. But if you press 5 when you don't have your disc in your hand, you'll go straight to the crouch. Now, I have not implemented the blocking mode yet, but I have implemented the crouch when your disc is not in hand. So if you watch here, I'll throw my disc and immediately go into the crouch. And the crouch lowers your profile slightly, makes it a little bit harder to hit. I don't honestly find it all that useful, but there we go. And I just saw that movement bug again down the lower left. Guy was just kind of walking backwards out in the animation. I have to research that. But yeah, so the crouch is there. And one interesting thing that I have not done yet is I noticed in the original game, whenever a crouching player catches their disc, they immediately return to a standing state. So I still do need to do that. Now the code is currently in place to detect when the player attempts to enter blocking mode. It just doesn't do anything with it at this point. And that's something that is going to be a little tricky. I'm going to take quite a lot of work to pull that off. And I think the biggest problem with it is that if you know anything about the Atari 5200 sprites, there are 4 player objects and 4 smaller missile objects. And I'm using all 8 of them on this screen. The 4 players are the 4 people running around, and the 4 missile objects are the 4 discs. And the 5200 provides collision detection in hardware for just about every combination of things you can think of, except for missile-to-missile collisions. And in the blocking mode, that's exactly what I need. I need to tell when an enemy missile has contacted the player's missile, which is being held up as a shield. So I'll need to do that in software. Shouldn't be too difficult, but it is just an extra step that I'll need to figure out. So that's about where we stand now, but this is kind of big, I think. The addition of these animations just makes the game look so much better now. And there are a couple of bugs to knock out. Like I said, there seems to be some sort of animation glitch with the computer players when, there it goes again on the right, when bouncing off the wall, so I'll need to address that. But by and large, it's looking pretty good. And the logic for the CPU characters is actually pretty much complete at this point. They run around, they throw their discs, they crouch. There's really not much else they do. The one big exception will be the enemies that show up at 1,000,000 points with the death sticks or whatever. If they touch you, you lose. And it's been a long time since I've seen them. I don't remember specifically how they behave, but I don't think they have the sort of random arena wandering behavior that these enemies do. I feel like they must pursue you in some fashion. So I'll need to make sure I am able to get back to those enemies in the original game so I can spend some time looking at them. Set up a save state so I can watch them and try to figure out how they behave. But that's where we stand. This game's coming along great. I also have, I don't remember if I mentioned the scoring in the last video, but you also do score points now. Whoops, I missed him. If I kill some enemies, you'll see the score counter start to ring up. There it goes. The complete score table is implemented. So the values of the kills go up over time. And there are bonuses for wiping out an entire wave before reinforcements show up. The recognizer scoring is also ready to go once I get around to doing the recognizer, which is probably going to be one of the last things I do. That's going to require quite a bit of planning. I've been thinking about how I'm going to do that, but until I actually sit down to try it, I don't think I'll have all the details figured out. But yeah, that's where we stand right now, and this game's coming along great, looking pretty exciting. And in a couple weeks, I'll probably have a new video, hopefully with some blocking and other bug fixes. Maybe I'll fix that disc positioning. And another thing I need to do is hit and death animations. In fact, the whole health system in general needs to be done. So those are probably the next few things I'll focus on. And at that point, probably be able to start bringing in the other enemy types too. Once I have damage, I can bring in the 2-hit enemies, because they're really no different, they're just slower. And then the leader enemies with the special discs. But yeah, moving along great. So yeah, stay tuned to this channel for future updates, and thanks for watching.